All right, we are back here. 2025 college football season is here. We have a new guest here this year.
Simo has arrived.
He has arrived. We kicked Brett off due to a couple reasons. One being that his picks are just terrible, and two, the SEC does run college football, so we had to get the FSU guy out and bring in a two-time national champion.
ACC
himself.
only saw one championship. I saw two in my college tenure, so we got to bring on the bigger winner here.
Real quick before we get into picks and talking about the season, just give the audience a little bit of a insight into your time at Bama. How was those days there?
Time at Bama. If you don't know me, I did go to Alabama. Clearly, I saw two championships in my time. First year, 2014, we lost to Ohio State. Second year, we beat Clemson in the second year of the playoffs. Third year, we lost to Clemson, and then year number 4, Tua Tagovailoa, second and 26 touchdown, 2018.
What was that?
That was the championship game.
Second and 26?
It was second and
I'm
26.
messing with you. All right, big dog. You're flexing a little too hard there.
So
We haven't really done much since with DeBoer having a down year for the Bama Standard last year.
Yeah, that wasn't great, but we're back. We are back. Ty Simpson's going to lead the way. Ryan Williams is going to be the best receiver in the league. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. I mean, I respect it. There's always should be faith.
We'll see what happens.
The Gators, speaking of my home team real quick, before we get into the unbiasedness of this podcast, I think we can have a solid year with DJ. A lot of the fans think it's going to be a big jump this year. I think we'll be 8 to 9 wins max. I think the real jump will be his third year. This is only a sophomore year. I think there's a couple injuries that I'm worried about within the team, and I don't have too much faith in Billy, but I think that we'll get the job done to have a okay season.
What are our tough
season.
Games for UF this year?
Oh, we have the hardest schedule in the entire college football. We have a stretch after the first 2 games where we play, I believe it's LSU in Death Valley, at Miami. Then we play Texas at home and then Texas A&M. And then you throw in Georgia. You throw in FSU as a non-conference, which is tough. Ole Miss on the road. I mean, there's no break for them. So I heard and I've been reading, we're one of 2 teams that can go 9-3 and have an automatic bid in the playoff if we find a way to go 9-3. However, it's going to be very tough.
9-3 against that schedule should get you in.
Yeah.
You'll be the 12th seed, 11 or 12.
Yeah, I think it'll get us in. But speaking of, let's go real quick before we get into the whole season. Let's just start with week 0 real quick and talk about the game of the week, the game that will have all eyes on it because everyone wants to bet that first game. Yeah. And it's Kansas State versus Iowa State, a ranked matchup. Last year in this game, FSU got upset by Georgia Tech. Everyone took FSU in that game. I'm going to ask you first. I'll take the side. We'll start with this. I'll take the side. I think Kansas State is going to be my pick to go get the win. I think they're a small favorite in this one. I believe they're -3. Yeah. I'll take them on the money line, play it safe here. I think they'll find a way to get a win. I believe it's in Dublin, Ireland.
They're going back to Ireland.
Ireland. And I'm going to give you the chance to give your first pick on here and go with the total. You got the over under 49.5.
Iowa State, Kansas State, 2 well-known offensive scoring teams, 2 well-known poorly defensive teams. I think you have to go with the over. Got to start the college football season out swinging. Got to get everyone excited with a big game. 49.5 should be easy. This could be a 34-28 game.
I don't mind the play. I think that it's just a little public like we talked about earlier, which for me makes it a stay away. I'm not going to take the under. I'm just going to probably stay away on the side, on the total I meant. But it should be fun to finally turn on the TV on Saturday.
Get ready for Saturday football. This is a nice warm-up with 2 ranked teams in Ireland. Last year was a great game. I mean, it should be the same.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Now we get into the season. Give me your favorite future bet for the season, over under win total of any team. Or you could give me a team to make the playoff, whatever you're thinking.
I'll go with win total. I'm a little torn. I think that Clemson will have over their 10.5 wins in the regular season.
It might be 9.5, Loki. I'm not sure.
9.5, 10.5. Doesn't matter what half they're doing it.
Okay.
They might go 11-1 or 10-2. Whatever their thing is, they will get there. I have them in being a top 4 team in the playoffs come December or
My
January.
my future, I'm going to stay in the ACC. I think the whole office knows. I'm going with under 9.5 for the Miami Hurricanes for a couple reasons. One of them is not that I am a Gator fan. I'm actually pretty unbiased with my picks. I truly just think that there's too much of a rollover with this team. If you go back to Joe Burrow and LSU in 2019, they lost everybody. 2020, they won 5 or 6 games. You go to the Gators, right, in 2022 or 2021 with KT, Trask, Pitts, all those guys. We lost everyone. We won 6 games. You go to FSU last year, losing 2 years ago, losing Travis, Keon Coleman, all of those guys, and then they go 2 wins the next year. I'm not saying Miami's going to be as bad as 2 wins, but what I am saying is when you lose Restrepo, your leading pass catcher, when you lose Damian Martinez, your leading rusher, and the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward, I just don't think that's going to be enough for this team to overcome, especially with Carson Beck, who I'm a little bit down on. And they also play Notre Dame to open up. I just don't see them getting to 10 wins this year.
Carson Beck, I'm not a fan of Carson Beck. I don't think he's anywhere near Cam Ward. I don't think he's anywhere near half the QBs in the league. I mean, he wasn't that great in Georgia. They had a great defense. They had a good
and he won't have them to bail him out.
They had a good run game, and he won't have
Miami.
a 6'8" tight end at Miami to bail him out like he did at Georgia. So I actually agree with that. I think there's going to be some tough times for the future of Miami.
You want to hear something crazy?
What?
Miami doesn't play outside of the state of Florida until November.
So they got all home.
What's your pick over there?
Games.
You got a pick?
I don't have a pick, but I mean I didn't do much research like you guys did before this. I can come with something next episode.
All right.
But
Next episode, Kobe will give us a pick.
Special guest Kobe, Week 1 college football. Book
exactly. So we're going through that. Now let's talk about a couple teams that you think will make a run. Last year we tried to predict the Final Four, but it's too hard with the new 12-team playoff, the bracket and all that type of stuff. So, like for example, like I said, Ohio State and Oregon ended up playing each other in the Final 8. So give me like 2 or 3 teams that will be at the end. Top 4.
I'm trying to stay away from SEC because you got a whole cluster of Bama plays Georgia, Texas plays LSU, Texas plays Georgia. I do have Texas making it to that Final Four. I think they're their best team in college football this season, unfortunately. But I would probably go Texas, Penn State. Love Penn State this year. And I'm thinking if Notre Dame can pull out a Week 1 against Miami, then they should have a clear path. And they'll be a very good team again.
Miami has won 6 straight at home against Notre Dame. However, Notre Dame went into A&M last year, which is a much tougher environment. I trust Marcus Freeman and their staff to get it done. I agree with you on that. I think Clemson will be there at the end. They're returning a lot of players. They have a veteran quarterback, a good head coach. I think Penn State will be there just like last year at the end. Texas should be, right? They should be there at the end. But that brings up a big question. The most hyped guy in college football in the past couple years, Arch Manning, is he going to live up to the hype?
They lost Golden. They lost their
Bond.
running back. They lost Bond. It's a whole new offense coming in for the most part. His run game is good. He can run the ball.
I trust Sarkisian is more.
He can throw. Sark is great.
More than Arch.
It's just tough because they play each other. LSU, Bama, Georgia. They're all gonna collide at some point. A Bama Texas SEC championship is kind of where I'm going with.
I could see it.
With that,
I think Georgia has a down year in the SEC for their standards. When I say down year, I'm not saying 5 wins, but they are expecting to win the SEC. They're expecting 11-1 at the minimum.
Bama
I could see a 10-2, 9-3.
Bama had a down year last year.
Yeah.
So they can
see it.
Georgia can.
I don't like Gunnar Stockton at all.
Very well have that this year. It's SEC is just tough.
Yeah, and people when they look at the SEC like they didn't win the last years. The reason that makes the SEC tough is that you have South Carolina being your 8th best team. You have Ole Miss being your 7th best team in the conference.
Always.
You have Florida and Oklahoma, who would be a top 3 team in another conference or 4 in the ACC, for example, or a Big 12. Not necessarily Big 10. I do respect the Big 10 a lot. That's the depth of the conference is really where you see these teams, being much better in terms of, comparing the 9th best team in the SEC versus Boston College.
Your bottom teams compete with the best.
Yeah.
It's
any given Saturday they could win.
Vanderbilt beat Bama last year. Any given Saturday.
Yeah, it's true.
They compete with everyone. You can put them against the Penn States and the Ohio States, and they'll go out and they'll put up some points. It could make it tough Just every Saturday in that conference is never a given.
I'm gonna pick a sleeper here that you have to pick a. We're gonna do a little segment here where you have to pick a team that's not supposed to make it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give two here. One of them, they'd have to win their conference. UNLV. I'm going back to my Florida days. I think Dan Mullen is one of the best offensive minds in the sport, and I think it's basically Boise State or them. And if they could just win one big game, they'll be in the playoff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say them or Utah. I think Dampier, transferring from New Mexico, he's a dual threat quarterback. I trust Utah's coach. I trust their defense. They do have a good defense year in and year out. It's pretty much a crapshoot in that conference, and I'm going to take a shot at I think they're like plus 600 to win the conference. I mean, anyone can get in from the Big 12. I'll take my chances with Utah.
Utah, UNLV. I'm trying to think outside.
Utah is plus 575. Who
Yeah,
else
there
did
you
say?
go. I said
UNLV.
UNLV. They're like plus 650. I
Yeah,
think we
plus
just looked at it.
650.
I was thinking it was just like it could be Michigan that gets in. They're
Yeah, I mean,
any of these teams.
you know what?
Bama's plus 4 something to win their conference. But that's not too much of a sleeper.
Sleeper. I'm going everyone's favorite pastime, USC, to make the playoffs. Lincoln Riley, they could be very, very, very bad this year. I think it's time that USC gets back to kind of the top where they used to be back in the day in the 2000s. Maybe 20 years is the difference. I don't know. FSU, maybe.
FSU will have a better year, but it's not going to be.
FSU might have a better year.
Clemson,
You could see
Clemson's returning way too many players.
they
Yeah.
won't beat Clemson. They won't beat. I don't know if they'll beat.
But is it?
I don't know.
So there's a stat that I want to throw out there. Here's my stat of the day. I believe the last 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's 5 or 6, a top 10 team has lost to an unranked team week 1. It was FSU last year to Georgia Tech. It was Florida beating Utah 2 years ago. I can't recall. Oh, Clemson lost to Duke. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
FSU lost to Tech.
FSU lost to Tech. That's 3 that I've named. I can't remember
Yeah.
every single one. I do know that there's one specific game that they're targeting for this stat to stay alive. And it's you
Bama.
going, it's the Bama, it's Crimson Tide going into FSU and Doak. Are you
In
nervous?
Doak.
The spread's 13. What do you think? Like,
Am I nervous?
Like, first time starter, going into a tough environment.
I was there in 2017 for Bama FSU in Atlanta when it was 2 versus 3 or 1 versus 2, whatever it was. I don't even remember. It was the year that we won. I was there with all the FSU hype. Oh, Francois is going to come in. He's going to do this. The defense is too good. All of this was happening. What happened was it was 24-7 and 8 long years of college football darkness for Florida State and their fans. That may happen again this year.
What about, so you're saying like playing in FSU, that's a tough first game. What do you think, like, is there a benefit to pro and con versus playing a tough game versus a cupcake? What's your thoughts on, like, opening up, getting the guys that haven't played, the freshmen, getting some reps in and warming up the schedule versus right into the fire in a tough game?
I don't think that'll be a problem for Alabama. I think that's more of a problem for FSU. I think those guys going in, first game, we're playing against Alabama at home. The home factor isn't much of a problem for me. I've been to their biggest games in Tallahassee. They're gone by the end of the first quarter. They got a frat party to go to. I was probably part of that clan that left. But that home stadium is not a problem. I know it's week 1. I know it's Alabama, so it could be different. But I think the pressure's more on FSU freshmen.
So you're saying the later that the game is, week 3 is worse for you and better for them because you think they need the warm up. You guys are ready to play.
I think we're ready to go.
And what do you? So let's continue to talk a little bit more about college football and why we're on this podcast and our love for college football. I've always had this debate with other people, not only in the office, friends, that college football is better than the NFL.
I agree.
I think that if you take all betting away, you take fantasy football away, college football is miles, and I mean it's not close to the NFL. I could watch Oregon versus TCU shootout. I could watch a Georgia-Bama defensive battle. I cannot watch, if there is no fantasy or betting involved, I cannot just watch Tennessee versus Dallas Thursday Night Football. I don't have interest.
No,
I don't care.
Not at all.
The playoffs, that's a different story. If you're talking regular season, there is no investment. With the college, there's the fans. There's the students. It's more the game day. It's a way bigger stadium, way bigger atmosphere. There's way more hype around the games. Every game means more. You lose one game in college and your back's against the wall.
Done.
I mean, you used to be done, but you can survive one more. NFL, go 10-7 like the Chiefs did and go win the Super Bowl. That doesn't happen in college.
You could be the Panthers and you could be fighting for first place at 5-9.
Yeah.
Against the Falcons, the Saints, and whoever, and the Bucks.
Every game you don't show up, you're in trouble. Like Bama's season literally got put down against Oklahoma and Vanderbilt on the road in a game they probably thought they could walk in and easily win. You cannot think that in any game you walk in, because you lose one and like we just said, you're in trouble.
You're in a lot of trouble.
Let me ask you guys something.
Yes, sir.
So, obviously, a big story in the offseason was Belichick coming to college football.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a top 10 transfer class.
Yeah.
Does North Carolina have a chance at all?
They can ruffle some feathers.
They can compete. I think they compete kind of like an Ole Miss does, and kind of like an A&M does. I think A&M and Ole Miss will probably be a little better this year than North Carolina. But with Belichick in, they're going to be a NFL style offense. You know what, they're going to mean business every single game, every single time. I don't know if they'll be able to beat Clemson.
I was going to say they're going to upset someone, but I think there's a lot of hype going in for their team, and I think that they'll probably need one more year, because in college people don't realize you need talent, and it takes 2 years to get these guys. You have to, then they're freshmen, and then they need another year on the belt. NFL, it's you get a free agent and they're ready. It's way different than
it's
college.
Also,
you don't think that's kind of changed now with all the transfer?
It helps because they're coming in as an older, an upperclassman, more experienced. But I still think, being so young in the grand scheme of things, being in a totally new offense, and Belichick, who knows? That NFL style might not work in college.
It could, yeah.
Because in NFL, it's more defense. I would say, in terms of like low scoring games. College, there's games in the over unders are set at 60 something. Yeah. You won't see that in NFL ever.
Yeah.
The highest you'll see in the NFL is 49, 50,
I'm
52.
definitely going to be. It's going to be interesting to see how you bring, someone that put Brady under center for most of his career, and then him coming to the college football scene and having motion left, motion right, someone going left. So it's just 5 guys on the left side, 1 guy on the right side. It's going to be interesting to see how he kind of adapts to it.
I was just saying, because they really don't have a tough road game all year.
Who's their toughest
Do they
game?
play Clemson?
They play Clemson, but they play Clemson at home.
That's a trap for Clemson.
Yeah, that's
their road games
game.
are Charlotte, UCF, Cal, Syracuse, Wake Forest, NC State.
Syracuse is one of those teams that
they
kind
lost
of fights.
everyone, dude. They lost every.
They did.
Weapon
They played Tennessee first game, I think. So.
Yeah, they did. Syracuse, Tennessee.
I think their quarterback's a Notre Dame transfer though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that'll wrap up the pre-week 0 show. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking picks every single week, updates week to week on, what games that happen, the ranked games, what teams are on the rise, what teams are on the downfall. Again, we will be giving our picks every single game. Brett just walked in, the one who was on the podcast, but he's not on the podcast anymore. Any last thoughts, Corey?
We are ready. It's going to be a great season. Brett just walked in, scared the shit out of me, but we're ready to go, and we'll see you every week. I'm excited to be part of the show.
Yes, sir. Let's go, and let's have a great season. Peace.